Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla and the new show Overflow episode 48. Volkswagen continue to lay its EV products and don't really seem to be able to find a way out of their software issues. And the legacy automakers keep falling behind on basically all metrics. And there are still very misinformed people out there that don't think EVs are greener than ICE cars. And BYD just set a new record with their U9 Extreme EV. And with China's battery energy storage system goals over the next couple of years, Tesla's energy business is going to be very busy. And BMW shows how not to do it. And we have some software leaks about Tesla's affordable EV that is imminent. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Volkswagen continues to delay its EV products and don't really seem to be able to find its way out of their software issues. Volkswagen's Rivian software is massively delayed. Because of Rivian's several important BEVs at Volkswagen are being significantly delayed. According to Manager Magazine, the Audi Q8 e-tron and the electric A4 will not be launched until mid and late 2028 respectively. A year later than planned, Porsche's XXL electric SUV K1 has even been postponed indefinitely. Furthermore, Rivian software cannot simply be transferred to ICE models, and due to poor BEV sales, these are once again the focus of attention. Volkswagen will therefore have to rely on in-house solutions from its subsidiary Carrot for longer, which will cost billions and continues to frustrate customers. The first Volkswagen model with the new technology is expected to be the small ID.1 planned for 2027. However, it may take longer than expected for Rivian source code to be available and adopted for Audi and Porsche, so there are delays here too. Volkswagen invested up to $5.8 billion in Rivian as part of the project. $3.5 billion went into Rivian shares, and Volkswagen now holds around 8.6%. The entire product was set up to rescue the reputation and was seen as a good way to improve the BEVs is now in question. Volkswagen's strategy has now failed spectacularly on several occasions. Firstly, they believed they could do everything themselves with a massive software department called Carrot. The project, which was driven forward by former Volkswagen Group CEO Herbert Diess, ultimately cost him his job, and he was dismissed because he could not deliver. As the sales and earnings figure shows, the new Volkswagen Group CEO Oliver Blume has also failed, while the strategy of purchasing software from external partners such as Rivian is not working either, with Volkswagen and Porsche releasing profit and margin warnings last week Friday. The problems are increasing while the stock price falls sharply. Anyone who believes a delay of 1 year is not so bad completely misunderstands how quickly the transition is progressing and that customers' loyalty disappears very quickly if they have to wait even longer. Furthermore, customers must expect that not everything will work optimally with the new Rivian software at the start. Many customers will turn to other brands, and once they discover that the software from Tesla or the Chinese suppliers works excellently, they will not return to Volkswagen. Last but not least, Volkswagen Group is known for continuous delays, and I will not be surprised if the company announced in 2026 that the first vehicles with Rivian software will be at earliest delivered in 2028 or later. Yes, just like the Trinity platform should have come out in 2026, that should be the one competing with Tesla that was delayed until 2032. But now we might never see that Trinity platform at all. So the outlook for Volkswagen is not looking any better as time goes by. And the legacy automakers keep falling behind on basically all metrics. And Kyle from Autospecs Review made a test that we have seen many years ago where the Fastlane car did a comparison between the Model Y and the Ford Mark E, where we saw the Tesla was much better than the Ford to get out of tricky situation where some of the wheels don't have traction. But Kyle was testing out cars like Lucid and Tesla and GM's on a roller. And as you can see, legacy automakers has just been left behind in so many ways. This is something that legacy automakers should be good at, right? How good your car is getting out of tricky situations. But they are not. This test does not use brute force but smart software, something we see Lucid and Tesla is good at, and GM, well, not so much. The Lucid did a nice job getting up the little hill with the rollers shutting off some of the wheels and at some point 3 wheels. But as Kyle wrote on X, as a point of comparison, we couldn't even get the Escalade IQ up to the actual testing spot where 3 wheels don't have traction. So it couldn't even handle that 2 wheels were not getting any traction. Man, this is a car that just looks like it can handle this kind of driving, but it has so bad software to control the car that it couldn't even get up to the point where the real test actually started. Kind of embarrassing. But of course the Tesla excelled at this test as they have some of the best software in the car, not just for your user interface, but also controlling the car.
Why is the Model Y the best car on the rollers today? It has the best drivetrain management out of anything here without locking differentials, front and rear. Some of the rear differential stuff we can't even get up because you can see it locks both rear when it gets to that point. So here's where you'll be able to see just that front right tire is the only one that's going to be able to pull it up once it gets to this second plate. Here's everything's about to come off. That rear tire is about to slip. And that one, this is the only tire with traction. So it's got to grab brakes on other sides, and then it just pulls it right up. That was the only tire that had traction, and it just grabbed that front left brake and sent the torque to the right. And it did it super seamlessly. It's so impressive.
Yes, very impressive what Tesla is able to do here. Not only does they have some of the best performing cars and safest cars on the planet, but Tesla also have some of the best drivetrain management on the planet. This is truly just such a slap in the face of the legacy automakers. What are they actually good at, other than making good advertising? But there is still very misinformed people out there that don't think that EVs are greener than ICE cars. But Sawyer made a great post about it. The oil industry and those who hate EVs are brainwashing you into thinking EVs are worse for the environment than gas vehicles. When you look at the lifetime emission of a vehicle, pure EVs produce far fewer emission than a hybrid or ICE cars. After just 2 years of driving, an EV's lifetime emission are lower than those on a comparable ICE vehicle, and even sooner in some cases. An EV charged by energy generated by coal is still better long-term for the environment than burning gasoline in an ICE car. The grid is getting more and more of its energy from renewable sources, making EVs an increasingly more sustainable choice. The average efficiency for an EV in the US is near 100 miles per gallon equivalent. It takes a lot less energy, around 4 times less, to go a mile in an EV. This is how an electric vehicle with average efficiency will be cleaner than the average gas cars in less than 2 years, no matter where you live. EVs use approximately 87 to 91% of the energy from the battery and regenerated braking to propel the vehicle. Gasoline vehicle only convert about 16 to 25% of the energy from gasoline into movement, average in highway and city driving. Some people like to make a big deal about the upfront environmental impact on EVs because of the batteries, but it doesn't even compare to the lifetime environmental impact of an ICE vehicle's emission. Yes, and don't forget, Transport and Environment have already shown us way back in 2021 that even taking the battery into calculation, but also the recycling of the battery into calculation, the EVs is using about 300 to 400 times less resources than an ICE car. Not 300 to 400%, 300 to 400 times less resources digged up from the ground. And like I've shown before, the amount of materials we dig up from the ground in rare earth materials that we use for the battery is not even a percentage of what we dig up from the ground. So the whole notion that we are digging up half the planet for EVs, even when EVs are 1,000 times bigger than they are today, they will still not even be 1% of what we dig up from the ground, as shown by the British Geological Survey. So there is no argument for EVs being worse for the environment. None. That is simply just misled people that believes the lies the oil industry have been spreading for decades. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. BYD just set a new record with the U9 Extreme EV that just hit a verified top speed of 496 kilometers an hour at the German's ATP proving grounds, making it the new fastest production car in the world, beating the Bugatti Chiron's 304 miles per hour. It has almost 3,000 horsepower. That is just insane. I remember when the Bugatti at some point put 1,000 horsepower in a car. I thought that was nuts, and now we are pushing close to 3,000 horsepower. Just insane. And the car had an 80 kilowatt hour LFP battery, so that was very impressive as well. And the new track grade LFP blade battery with dual layer cooling capable of 30C discharge rate for improved thermal management. Density of each cell is increased by 170% compared to the lower trim models, and it can charge with up to 500 kilowatts charging speed. So one hell of a beast BYD is making here. That will cost a fraction of a Bugatti Chiron. And Sawyer also pointed out just how EVs have completely and utterly taken over in the car industry, as he wrote, #1 best-selling car in the world, an EV. Fastest production car in the world, an EV. Quickest production car in the world, an EV. Cheapest car to maintain in the world, an EV. Most efficient car in the world, an EV. Most environmentally friendly car in the world, an EV. Safest car in the world, an EV. And #1 most American-made car, an EV. Pretty wild that not that many years ago, ICE vehicles held all these titles. Yes, and the Chinese can actually add that the most affordable new car to buy in China is an EV, because the Wuling Mini EV start at only $4,900. So even the most affordable new car in the world's biggest car market is also an EV. And that will of course also come to the Western countries at some point soon. Not much left for the ICE car to brag about. Look, I can fill up really fast. Well, good for you, mate. And James Catt wrote, Mega Factory Shanghai will be busy. The Special Action Plan for Large-Scale Construction of New Energy Storage was published last Friday. It's aimed at pushing China's installed base of large-scale energy storage, primarily lithium-ion battery energy storage systems, to 180 gigawatt by the end of 2027. China's goal would mean that the country would have almost as much battery-based or non-pumped hydro storage installed by the end of 2027 as the entire world does today. Holy smoke, that does sound like Tesla's Megapack factory business will be very, very busy indeed. And Michael Dawn had some insight from Hyundai, as he told Herbert from Brighter with Herbert.
I'll tell you something that really struck me when I was in Detroit last week. It was the 100th anniversary of Automotive News, so it was a big celebration. The owners were there, and they had as their special guest the EC from Hyundai, Yusun Chung. And they said, Mr. Chung, in the last 100 years of automotive history, all of it globally, who is the single person who had the greatest impact on the auto industry? And coming from a legacy automaker, you'd expect him to say, I don't know, Mr. Toyota or Mr. Ford or someone, Alfred Sloan. Guess what he said? He didn't hesitate. Elon Musk. Elon Musk completely and utterly transformed the industry and has forced everyone else to awaken and say, wow, there's all kinds of new frontier out there to be explored. I thought that was highly significant coming from the leader of Hyundai, which in its own right is doing very well among legacy automakers. It's arguably the strongest. So Tesla continues to be in the eyes of the Koreans, the Germans, the Americans, and the Chinese as the global leader in innovation and with regards to software, and in particular these days with regards to FSD. So I'm still very optimistic about Tesla. I know you are, and there's good reason to be so, especially since we have Elon back full-time on Tesla and the SpaceX empire, like XAI, all of it. He's really all in these days.
And we had some rumors that Tesla is about to update the Tesla Model 3 worldwide with turn signal stock already available in China, certified in Europe, front bumper camera already leaked in China, certified in Europe, and brake-by-wire system and coated glass roof coming in China in October and other regions to be determined. So more improvements are coming to the Tesla Model 3 with brake-by-wire and so much more, just like we know it from the refreshed Model Y. Nice. And BMW shows how not to do it, as Alex reported. BMW's new X5 will be available from 2028 with 5 drive types: petrol, diesel, hybrids, electric, and hydrogen. Oh my god. So 5 different types makes R&D and production and supply chain incredibly expensive with no opportunity to reduce cost and with no competitive benefits. But as Joachim Post, member of the board of management of BMW's AG development, said, with the introduction of the new BMW X5 in 5 drive variants, we are once again demonstrating our leadership as a technology pioneer. Hydrogen plays an exceptional role in global decarbonization. That is why we are continuing to drive the technology forward. There is neither a market nor a supply chain for hydrogen, and since the drive system is much more expensive to use and there is no filling station, and there never will be because it is simply too expensive, it is pretty damn stupid to talk about a significant role. BMW's management remain in the denial and made another strategic mistake. Yes, continue to be working on hydrogen cars is going to be very expensive mistake. And just think about the complication of the production and supply chain will look like with this BMW X5 only shows us how lost BMW is. But they are making so decent EVs, so why would they waste their time and money on all these many powertrains? It just makes no sense to me. And Harold here wrote, new Model Y day 1 arrived Perth, West Australia after traveling 267 kilometers from Meridian. Efficiency 148 watt-hours per kilometers. Day 11 total 546 kilometers. Tour total 13,557 kilometers. 11th tour completed. First continent conquered by Tesla's AI full self-driving supervised. And asked about the intervention, he wrote, a few, but too few to mention. Nice. This is the map of his driving, circling Australia, with full self-driving doing about 99% of the driving as he rode. So let's see when Waymo will be able to do that. My bet is never, as this will not be possible to pre-map and geofence such a huge continent. But Tesla's software just knows how to drive everywhere. And Green the Only found the more affordable Model Y with the code name E41, details leaked in the 2025.32.6 software update. Specific E41 fascia design, no glass roof, no second row display, no tire pressure monitoring system, 18 wheels, likely simplified suspension, 2 audio option, essential and essential with modesty, no heater for backup camera, no airwave in controls, simplified fiberglass headliner, interior light limited to footwells only, simplified seat control, single axis, no power folding side mirrors, no puddle light. And he thinks there will be both a rear-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive version. So if we are seeing this in the software now, we are probably not far from a reveal. So my guess is still that it will be in Q4, as this could be a great way to counter the loss of the $7,500 tax credit. But we will see what will happen. That is all we have time for in this Overflow News Show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheets also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.